Welcome to The Explainer. We use AI tools every single day. But let's start with the really big question that AI developers are wrestling with.
And this right here is the heart of the AI alignment problem. How do we nudge a model to follow our intentions, to be helpful and harmless, without totally messing up the complex programming that makes it smart and creative in the first place? It's an incredibly delicate balancing act.
You see, when we train a large language model, we're basically just teaching it to be a super-powered text predictor. That's it. That doesn't automatically teach it what we humans actually prefer. So the real challenge is finding that sweet spot, a new version of the AI that gets a high reward for being helpful, but also stays really, really close to its original powerful self. So how do people tackle this? Well, one of the most popular and straightforward methods out there is a technique called best of n. Let's take a look at how it works. The idea is actually pretty simple. Imagine you ask the AI to generate, let's say, 16 different answers to your question. Then a separate AI, a reward model, looks at all 16 of those answers and gives each one a score. The best of n method is ruthless. It just throws away 15 of them and hands you the single one with the top score. It's kind of like a talent show where you only ever get to see the one final winner. And yeah, it's effective. But as the paper we're digging into today points out, this is a very blunt instrument. It's an all-or-nothing choice. You get the top scoring response, and that's it. But what if the second or third best answers were also really, really good, just in a different way? With best of n, you'd never know. They're just gone.
And this is exactly where the paper introduces its big idea, a much more flexible, more nuanced method that they call soft best of n.
So here's the absolute crucial difference. Best of n is rigid. It always just picks the single best response. It's a simple on-off switch. Soft best of n, on the other hand, is flexible. It samples from the responses probabilistically, which means it favors the better ones, but doesn't always pick the best. It's not an on-off switch, it's a dimmer switch.
Okay, so the process starts out looking the same. You generate n responses, you score them all, but then we get to step 3, and this is where the magic happens. Instead of just crowning a winner, we hold a lottery. The response with the highest score, it gets the most lottery tickets. The second best gets a few less, the third best even fewer, and so on. Then we just draw one ticket. This means the best response is the most likely to win, for sure, but other great responses still have a fighting chance.
So how does this whole lottery system actually work? Well, the secret sauce behind soft best of n's flexibility is one single powerful parameter that we can actually tune.
It's called temperature, or a lambda, but honestly, it's easier to just think of it as the pickiness dial. If you turn that lambda dial way down low, the system gets really sharp and picky. It gives almost all the lottery tickets to the single best answer, basically turning it back into regular old best of n. But if you turn that dial up, the system gets softer. The lottery tickets get spread out more evenly, giving more diverse answers a shot, and making the AI act more like its original unfiltered self.
And this chart, this shows you exactly why that's so cool. Let's look at the bars. The base model on the left has low reward. Best of n in the middle cranks the reward way up, but at the cost of high distortion. It's straying far from the original AI. But look at soft best of n on the right. It can get that same high reward, but with much more controlled, lower distortion. By tweaking that pickiness dial, we can hit a beautiful sweet spot that the other methods just can't reach.
Now, this brings us to what I think is the most surprising and definitely the most practical insight from this whole paper. Because having this new level of control is great, but it uncovers a massive trade-off when you try to use it in the real world.
Think about it. When an AI generates a long response, like an entire essay or a chunk of code, you have a choice to make. Do you apply this soft best of n method at every single step, for every word, or do you just wait and apply it once to the whole thing at the end? The paper looks at both ways, and the difference is absolutely enormous.
Okay, let's break this down. The first way is symbol-wise, or word by word. It's like editing an essay while it's being written, checking every single word. This is super efficient in terms of how many drafts you need. You only need a few, but it's computationally very, very slow because you're constantly stopping to check your work.
The other way is blockwise or paragraph by paragraph. This is like writing the whole essay first, then reading the whole thing to decide if it's good. It's way cheaper computationally. You only check once, but you might have to write a ton of complete essays before you get one you like.
And this formula right here brilliantly illustrates the absolutely staggering cost of that blockwise approach. Now, you don't need to be a math whiz to get the point here. All this says is that the number of samples you need, n, grows exponentially with the length of the response, m.
So what does that mean in plain English? It means to make a long document just a tiny bit better, you have to generate an astronomically larger number of full drafts to choose from. This creates this incredible tension for AI developers. Do you pick the sample-efficient way that's painfully slow, or the computationally cheaper way that needs a mind-boggling number of samples? It's a really tough design choice.
All right, so let's just quickly pull it all together. What we learned? First, soft best of n is like a dimmer switch that gives us fine-grained control over AI alignment. Second, it helps us find a much better sweet spot between getting helpful answers and not breaking the original model. But third, and this is the big catch, it reveals this fundamental trade-off between the slow but efficient word-by-word method and the fast but insanely expensive paragraph-by-paragraph one. And that's a huge challenge for anyone building these systems.
So in the end, this research isn't just about one specific clever technique. It really forces us to zoom out and ask a much bigger question. As these AI systems get more and more powerful, are we actually building the right kinds of dials, gauges, and control panels to steer them safely and effectively? Work like this on soft best of n is an absolutely crucial step in making sure the answer is yes. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.